Welcome all, this is Saud. Here we have HP laptop not powering up with black screen. We start by verifying the charger status, and I checked it already in another laptop. It is working fine. As it is clear, the charger is giving the correct output voltage. So we go ahead and dismantle the laptop to get access to motherboard. As per the available information, there was a repairing attempt on this laptop before, and it looks that the ribbon cable connecting power on push button to main board is broken. So we will need to fix this. This motherboard is based on AMD A4 AM5000 CPU with 4 CPU cores. In addition, this CPU has built-in GPU integrated graphics and integrated memory controller as well. That's why we don't have many external ICs on this board. Here we have a 4 GB RAM. This IC for keyboard controller and touchpad plus general purpose input-output controller, and this chip for Ethernet and LAN driver. Here is the main 19 volt power, and this is the 3.3 volt regulator circuit, and this here is the 5 volt regulator circuit. This is the memory voltage supply, and here we have the CPU core voltage regulator. So I have arranged a quick fix for the broken ribbon cable. Then let's start the laptop. The CPU cooling fan starts. There is few LEDs getting on the keyboard. The cooling fan stops after some time, and still black screen with system not booting. Corrupted BIOS can be cause of similar issue, so I tried to reload the BIOS program from HP website, but this step didn't show any improvement. Based on my observation, the cooling fan temperature control is functioning on this motherboard. Initially, the fan turns on for a short time, then goes off. Then when CPU temperature reach around 40 degrees, it turns on. So at 40 degrees, it is on, therefore keeps cooling down to around 30 degrees and turn off. The other point here, heating up of the CPU, indicates that CPU is processing and trying to work. Next step now is to verify power supply part and check power regulators are giving the right output voltage. Before this, I have removed the CMOS battery to reset the BIOS, but that didn't show any change. The CMOS and real-time clock battery needs to be at 3 volt and it's fine. We power up the system now. This is the main power from charger, 19 volt is okay. 3.3 volt is okay as well. 5 volt is available. And RAM operating voltage is fine. Then the CPU core voltage, which is at 0.94 volt, is okay within the normal range. Defective RAM can cause black screen and no booting condition. I found one of RAM connection pin is eroded, as you can see. Therefore, is strongly recommended to try another RAM card. I got another RAM card, was checked in other system, is working fine. So we will replace with this one. We try to power on now. So same symptom, no activity on hard disk and still not booting with black screen. This narrowed down the troubleshooting to suspect the CPU, as the power supply part was found okay and RAM was replaced with another checked good one. Plus, no any LVDS signal activity going to the screen. The BIOS memory chip power supply 3.3 volt is reaching to BIOS IC normally. Therefore, next we will try to reheat and reflow the CPU. This step may help sometime to bring the system up. I use this aluminum foil to prevent excessive heat on other surrounding components while heating the CPU. The aluminum can conduct static electricity, so to form some isolation layer, I apply white cement mixture at the bottom. This can help to prevent any static electricity risk on the components. Everybody uses his own way to deal with excessive heat based on his experience. We cannot say there is a best way, depending also on the sensitivity of surrounding components. You can use protection tape, for example, or you may think I don't need to use anything and I will manipulate the heat gun and airspeed while I will take care not to affect other components. I needed the protection because I don't want to risk with close by memory slot socket and CPU core voltage electrolytic capacitor. I will use the temperature sensor to help indicating board temperature as we go. So after CPU reflow, no improvement was there. Therefore, the next step I'm thinking now is to remove the CPU and do reballing process. But before proceeding on this step, I would like to have some discussion about this. If the repair service is for business, then we need to think wisely as we move from step to other. Is it worth to continue on repair to component level? Or maybe it is cost effective just to replace the complete motherboard. I might get used working board. What is the age of the laptop, for example? And how much the complete laptop cost in the market? The time I'm going to spend is important factor. Also, is the device owner ready to spend for all this? In my case here, this repair is more for knowledge sharing, and I would like to proceed on different steps to see the progress. I will do a manual reballing process because I don't have currently the right stencil for this IC. It is very well reballed as it is clear. But I started thinking wisely. Is it really good decision to try again the same CPU? The point here, I don't want to put more heat constraint on the main board. If this CPU didn't work, Then I'll heat up to install it, and then heat up again to remove. What worries me that some repair attempts on this board before was there, and most probably some heating process was done. Also, I noticed very low resistance down to 0 ohm across many of CPU capacitors. Yes, maybe normal to have low resistance across some of attached capacitors, but I found many on this CPU showing almost 0 ohm. My decision here, I don't want ending up losing everything. I found used working CPU online with a reasonable price. Therefore, I'll just order that one to replace this. After waiting few weeks, I have received the replacement CPU. So, I will install this one now and we see the results.
إلهي وقفت دموعي تسيل وقلبي ببابك باك ذليل فذنبي